are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel. I'm Jim, and I'm going to be reviewing Green Lantern number 2, written by Jeremy Adams with art by Xermanico. I've said it a bunch of times recently, Jeremy Adams has won my faith and support with everything he did in his Flash run. I mean, that's not the only reason I'm reading and reviewing Green Lantern. I'd be doing this even if the Clune Rats were on this book, though I probably wouldn't be enjoying it as much. So let's get into Green Lantern number 2 right after I ask you all to subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable notifications, and let me know what you thought of Green Lantern number 2 in the comments below. Okay, to start things off, I'm going to turn the chair around and my hat so I can talk to the kids. Like I tell everyone at the roller skating rink, sometimes being lazy pays off. Since this review is a couple days late, I was able to see some reactions to this book on Twitter and Reddit. You know, all the places I go to for educated and level-headed opinions, and I saw a lot of people upset that this second issue is a bit too basic and jokey. As you will see, I do agree with that a bit, but I am here to be your personal Quado and open your mind. So here we go. I was told right after this book was announced that there was a bit of a clash between Jeremy Adams and his editors. It was from someone not actually on the book. I asked Jeremy, and he denied anything was wrong, but I think he's just a nice guy, and he would never throw anyone under the bus. But what I was told was that the editors have rejected a couple scripts because they wanted the book to be more basic and jokey. Congrats, editors. Mission accomplished. Of course, this is DC we're talking about, so screwing up something just a tiny bit is never enough, which we will see by the end of this review. All right, now that I taught you kids about life, and you thankfully taught me how to pop and lock, Green Lantern number 2 opens up with a continuation of the 1 month ago part of the story. Hal has his pure will ring, which I'm going to call Willy Boy from now on, and he takes it for a spin. Now, one of the reasons why I love Jeremy Adams and really adored his Wally West Flash run was that it was very fun, but it was never at the expense of the characters. He seemed to know Wally West and all the characters in that book, so he had fun, but it made sense for the character. It's weird, I don't have that feeling here as much. And maybe it's just the play that Wally West was the character he was made to write. Unfortunately, DC didn't think so, but maybe he has to kind of get used to Hal, get into the swing of things. I think there's other things involved as well, but I understand Hal would be pumped. But he just lost the ring recently. And while Hal making Willy Boy, I hope that starts trending, it was a cool callback. This is something that he did at the end of the New 52, so it works out. But here he's acting like it's a brand new thing, like he doesn't even remember that he did this before. And I get it. This is a new book, and a lot of new readers may be jumping on. So while I didn't love things like Hal quoting Batman, I still was able to have fun. I thought that the quote-unquote fight against the demolition team in the graveyard was a lot of fun and did show Hal having fun with his ring, Willy Boy. Now, I will stop a second to tell everyone that Xermanico's art in this issue is incredible, and a big shout-out to Romulo Fajardo Jr. He may have blocked us on Twitter, but he can't block those colors from popping on my iPad. I am interested in seeing how we'll end up recharging Willy Boy, and the end of this opening scene looks like a setup for that. And then we head to the present day where Hal is still adjusting to civilian life on Earth, hanging out with an old buddy. And I'm sure that everyone reading this book will smile seeing Kilowog, but the scene is basically just them recapping the first issue. It's empty calories, like the dew of the mountain, that Kilowog has the nerve to diss. And seriously, tell me what all the cool kids drink on your home planet, Kilowog. That might be a little too soon. The sort of feeling continues as Hal channels his inner Michael J. Fox, a la Secret of My Success, and quickly climbs the Ferris Air ladder, going from mailroom to co-pilot in one day. It's goofy if you think about it, but it's kind of fun. Of course, it's to get closer to Carol, And I feel bad for her boyfriend, fiancé Nathan, who seems like a nice guy, or maybe naive is the right word here. He better watch himself. He better watch his back. And this whole Hal Carroll thing is a lot of what people are upset about, because it does end up just going back to the cliches, going back to the tropes, and feels not really, it doesn't feel quite right in this deal. But again, it's classic. The issue ends with Hal giving Carol and Nathan a bumpy ride right before we're reminded that DC is about to give us all the same night terrors with a K. Now, we also continue the Phillip Kennedy Johnson and Montos John Stewart backup story, but there's so little there so far that I'm not even factoring it into my overall score, though I think it is a bunch of hooey that it adds $1 to this book's price. Now, I didn't hate this issue. There are some nice moments, and while I didn't like it as much as the first issue, I am looking forward to what Jeremy Adams has in store for Hal. Now, with that, I think that we're going to have to wait till September for that, because my biggest problem isn't even the basic jokey feel and stuff. It's that DC didn't wait until after Night Terrors to start this series. This book didn't start 2 months before Night Terrors for any other reason than to get it to tie into that stupid event. And I say stupid, hopefully it's good, but right now I'm mad at it. Jeremy Adams isn't going to be able to start anything big in these 2 issues. He was obviously told to give readers the basics and then head off into the spooky summertime event. That's not anything that he's doing. It just happens that this book has to tie into it. Thankfully, he's writing those issues, so I'm looking forward to them. But having to tie into someone else's event after 2 issues is complete and utter bullshit. I do have to review the issue, though, for what it is. I already told you the art is superb, and while the story doesn't really go anywhere except to an ill-advised event with a K, I'm still giving this a 7 out of 10. And please, if you are down on this book after 2 issues, please, in my mind, don't make a final judgment until we see what Jeremy Adams has in store starting in the not-so-spooky month of September. All right, thanks, everybody. And if you want to see what I thought of the first issue of Green Lantern, click on the link here. And don't forget to tell me what you think of what Jeremy Adams is doing on the book so far in the comments below. And with that, I'll talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.